Am I audible to all of you? Okay, so let's begin our topic. And our topic today the it is about the early Islamic community. We were discussing this topic. Okay, just confirm. I want some confirmation from you people that whether you can hear me properly or not. Okay, can you tell me now? Is it fine? Hope it is fine now. Okay, let's begin from the start. We had started from the time from the life of Abu Sufyan. Okay, one of the we can say that initially he was not a Muslim and he was from Banu Umayyah. Abu Sufyan was from Banu Umayyah, and Banu Umayyah was one of the chief tribe of Makkah. Okay, initially he opposed Islam, and he was the prominent figure during the time of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Okay, he didn't play any important role in opposing Islam in openly, and but he opposed Islam, but he was not involved in the persecutions faced by the Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him, and he was the reason because of which the Battle of Badr was fought. Okay, he was leading a trade caravan to Syria, and he has noticed the presence of the Muslim army. Okay, and he sensed and he noticed that he noticed the threat. Okay, he realized that there will be a serious threat. Okay, and Muslims they were waiting for him to intercept his trade caravan. Okay, so he sent a message to the Makkans. Okay, to prepare an army to escort him safely back to Makkah. ठीक है, तो उसकी वजह से जो है फिर अबू जहल क्विकली प्रिपेयर्ड एन आर्मी. ठीक है, द आर्मी वॉज प्रिपेयर्ड बाय अबू जहल 1000 एंड द बैटल ऑफ बदर वॉज फॉट. After the death of Abu Jahl, he took the responsibility, he took the lead, okay, of the Makkan. He was now the leader of the Makkans. So what he did, then in the rest of the battles, he took the lead to fight against the Muslims. In the Battle of Uhud, okay, he fought against the Muslims, and before leaving the battlefield, he announced that they will come again and they will face the Muslims at Badr. But he did not show up. ठीक है, मुकाबले के लिए ये लोग नहीं आए बदर पे next year. Finally, Abu Sufyan gathered a large army, and with the help of other tribes, okay, in Trench, in the Battle of Trench, but he was not successful because Muslims they protected themselves by digging trench around their city on the advice of Salman Farsi radiallahu ta'ala anhu. In after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, Prophet peace be upon him sent letters. He had also sent letters to the rulers, to the emperors. Okay, one such letter was sent to the ruler of Syria, to the Roman emperor. Okay, to the one such letter was sent to the Roman emperor also. So at that time, it happened that Abu Sufyan was in Syria on a business trip. So he was called in the court of the king. जो हेरक्लियस था बादशाह था उसने अबू सुफियान को अपने दरबार में बुलाया because he wanted to know and confirm about the letter and the authority of the letter and whether he wanted to know about the Holy Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him. उसने कहा कोई मक्का में से अगर कोई शख्स है तो वो आए और आगे हमें थोड़ा सा उनके बारे में बताएं. ठीक है, तो अबू सुफियान वाज देयर एट द टाइम, सो अबू सुफियान appeared. ठीक है, एंड ही आस्क्ड डिफरेंट क्वेश्चंस फ्रॉम अबू सुफियान से उसने डिफरेंट क्वेश्चंस किए. एंड अबू सुफियान ऑल्दो beside he was a non-Muslim, but he spoke truth about the Holy Prophet peace upon him's honesty. ठीक है, ये सारी बातें हमने बतानी है. तो आफ्टर द ट्रीटी ऑफ हुदैबिया, व्हेन द ट्रीटी ऑफ हुदैबिया वाज डिसॉल्व्ड, so they sent Abu Sufyan to re-sign the terms of the treaty of Hudaybiyah, but he did not get any response. ठीक है, तो he was sent to re-sign the terms of the treaty, but he did not get any response. Just before the conquest of Makkah, he accepted Islam on the advice of Abbas, the Prophet peace upon him's uncle. Okay, his daughter Habiba was she was also known as Ramla. Ramla, okay, she was known by the title Habiba. She was in marriage of the Holy Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him. She didn't allow her father Abu Sufyan to sit on the Prophet peace be upon him's bed. अबू सुफियान जब ट्रीटी को रिन्यू करने के लिए और साइन करने के लिए दोबारा आया तो एट दैट टाइम उन्होंने अब बेटी ने अपने फादर को प्रॉफिट के बिस्तर पर नहीं बैठने दिया. ठीक है, he took after the conquest of Makkah. At the time of the conquest of Makkah, he accepted Islam. He participated in the battles. Okay, particularly the battles fought afterwards. In the Battle of Hunain, he showed bravery and he fought courageously, and he lost his one eye because of the archers, because of the arrows of Banu Hawazin tribe. He lost his one eye in the Battle of Hunain. So in the Battle of Hunain, one eye was lost. And during the Caliphate of Umar Anhu, in the Battle of Yarmouk, he lost his second eye. Okay, he sacrificed, he participated in the battles, and he risked his life in the battles fought during that time. Okay, he was also made the governor of Najran. Okay, that was a part of Arabia, and he died at the age of 90. Okay, at the age of 90, he died during the Caliphate of Usman Radhiyallahu Ta'ala anhu. Fine. Okay, Mujtaba, if you have any question, you can write in the chat. Fine. So next we have Khalid bin Walid. Khalid bin Walid is also another important personality, and he was from Banu Makhzum tribe. You must know the tribe of Khalid bin Walid, that he was from Banu Makhzum tribe, and Banu Makhzum tribe was one of the influential tribe of Makkah, like Hawazin, like Quraysh, like Banu Umayya. Okay, so Banu Makhzum, the tribal chief of Banu Makhzum was initially Abu Jahl. Siege of Taif and Hunain is same, okay, because they are connected. So if you are right that he lost his eye in Siege of Taif or in the Battle of Hunain, so these two are the connected battles. Okay, that is acceptable. So Khalid bin Walid tribe. Fine. So mentioned that he initially opposed Islam. Khalid bin Walid initially opposed Islam. He was known for Banu Makhzum were they all were known for their war tactics, war skills, their bravery, and that is why mostly the responsibility of war was given to Banu Makhzum tribe. That is why when Abu Sufyan asked for the help and support, Abu Jahl quickly prepared an army because he was the leader and he was the chief of Banu Makhzum tribe. ठीक है बनु मखजूम ट्राइब की रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ये होती थी कि वो बैटल से रिलेटेड सारी प्रिपरेशंस करते थे ठीक है ऑल द प्रिपरेशंस वर मेड ठीक है उसकी सारी जो बेसिक रिक्वायरमेंट्स थी और बेसिक प्रिपरेशन थी दैट वाज द रिस्पॉन्सिबिलिटी ऑफ बनु मखजूम ट्राइब So Khalid bin Walid was from this tribe. He was a polytheist. Okay, he was not a believer, and he participated in different battles, fought against the Muslims, like in the Battle of Ohad. He was the one. Because of him, the battle changed, and Muslims they suffered defeat. Okay, in the Battle of Ohad, he was leading the uh, cavalry of the enemy, 200 men. Okay, Battle of Ohad maybe he was leading the enemy cavalry, and it was because of him. Okay, when Khalid attacked the archers initially, but he was pushed back. Okay, he was pushed back by the army. Later on, okay, when the archers they left their place, Khalid saw the opportunity and attacked the Muslim army from the backside and successfully uh, killed the archers and he changed the overall condition and scenario of the battlefield and Muslims they suffered heavy losses in this battle. Okay, heavy losses were suffered by the Muslims in this battle. Again, in the battle in trench, Khalid was sent ahead with a force of 200 cavalry. Okay, Khalid was sent to stop the Muslim army. Okay, when Muslims were going for the performance of Umrah. At that time, okay, Muslims they changed their route. Holy Prophet peace upon him changed his route to avoid any confrontation from Khalid's force. ठीक है तो उन्होंने क्या किया खालिद Muslims they changed their okay direction and at that time ठीक है आपने ये बता देना है साथ साथ इसमें भी कि Khalid wanted to attack the Muslim army when they were unaware okay when they will be performing their prayers Allah revealed the Quranic verses about the performance that how Muslims they can perform their prayers at a time of fear how they can perform their prayers okay so Muslims they avoided their at the attack from Khalid bin Walid this is how Khalid again participated. Actually, Khalid accepted Islam after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. Okay, the peaceful conditions that prevailed after the Treaty of Hudaybiyah, it gave him an opportunity to think about Islam, and he accepted Islam. Okay, he entered into the folds of Islam, and he proved to be a very famous general of the Muslim army. And Muslims, they in several battles. Okay, Khalid conquered whole Persia. Whole of the Persia was conquered by Khalid bin Walid. Fine. You can further mention that he took part in the Battle of Muta. Okay, in the Battle of Muta, Prophet had appointed three commanders. Okay, Zaid, Jafar, and Abdullah bin Rawaha. Okay, after the death of all the three commanders, the army appointed Khalid bin Walid as their commander. Okay, Khalid bin Walid was appointed as their commander, and Khalid fought in this battle, and uh, of the many of the enemies were killed. Okay, nine swords were broken in his hand, and he has been given the title Saifullah. Saifullah means the sword of Allah. Okay, his role in the conquest of Makkah, he was given the command on of one of the squadron and one of the battalion of the Muslim army, because Prophet had divided his army into four columns at the time of the conquest of Makkah. Okay, from the side where Khalid entered Makkah, he faced some resistance. Okay, so in that Khalid has to counter, and in this 12 or 28 Makkans were killed, and two Muslims achieved martyrdom. Okay, Tabuk expedition, he was there with the Prophet. Prophet sent him to the nearby tribes. Khalid arrested the leader of Daumatul Jandal. Daumatul Jandal is a famous place, you must know, क्योंकि कई जगह इसका आगे और भी नाम आ रहे हैं. ठीक है, हजरत अली की कैलिफेट में भी इसका नाम आता है, और जगह दौमतुल जंदल का नाम आता है. तो यू मस्ट नो कि इट वॉज ऑन द बॉर्डर ऑफ सीरिया. ठीक है, जो उसका लीडर था उसका नाम था ओकैदर. ठीक है, सो ही एक्सेप्टेड टू पे जिजिया. खालिद अरेस्टेड हिम एंड brought him to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. ठीक है, he accepted to pay jizya. Khalid played very important role in the battles against the false prophets. Okay, Khalid played very important role in the conquest of Persia. Okay, and he defeated the Persians in battles, in the Battle of Chain, the Battle of Mazar, Battle of Walaja, and the Battle of Firaz. These were the battles fought against the Persians during the Caliphate of Abu Bakr. Okay, Khalid was later on sent to Syria to command the Syrian forces. Okay, all the Syrian forces. Khalid led successful campaigns in Persia and the Byzantines during the Caliphate of Abu Bakr and Umar. So he was the commander in chief of the Muslim army throughout the Caliphate of Abu Bakr and in the initial years of Umar's Caliphate also. And later on, Umar took command from him and he appointed Abu Ubaidah bin Jarrah as the new commander in chief of the Muslim. So Khalid's active role in fighting against the false prophets, like he defeated Tulaiha in the Battle of Buzaka, and he defeated Musalma in the Battle of Yamama. So these are the two main important events of his life, take against the false prophet. Khalid bin Walid died in 20th Hijri, and he was buried in Damascus. So he died because of a plague and because of the epidemic which spread in Syria. ठीक है, ताउन की बीमारी फैल गई थी, ठीक है, सीरिया में. एंड सेवरल एंड मैनी मुस्लिम कमांडर्स, मैनी मुस्लिम आर्मी मैन डाइड इन दिस प्लेग. ओके, सो दैट वाज अबाउट खालिद बिन वलीद, वन ऑफ द मेजर. ठीक है, इनके बारे में भी आपसे क्वेश्चन आएगा तो आपने इसी तरीके से लिखना है. ठीक है, आंसर बनाएंगे इसका. Next important personality from the life of the Holy Prophet, peace upon him, like we can have this question. Describe the roles played by Abu Talib and Hamza. So we already discussed in the previous class about Abu Talib in detail. ठीक है, तो फर्स्ट पैराग्राफ जो अबू तालिब के बारे में बनेगा, प्रॉफिट अंकल के बारे में, दैट विल बी सेम. ठीक है, ये दीज टू आर द प्रॉफिट्स अंकल. ठीक है, आपको पता होना चाहिए कि हु आर द प्रॉफिट्स अंकल. ठीक है, यू नो मस्ट नो दैट अबू तालिब was the prophet's uncle and he was his real uncle and he was the real brother of the prophet's father Abdullah. Hamza was also the prophet's uncle. Okay, Abbas was also the prophet's uncle. तो ये अंकल्स के बारे में मे बी दे आस्क यू टू राइट अबाउट टू ऑफ द प्रॉफिट्स अंकल और थ्री ऑफ द प्रॉफिट्स अंकल्स. ठीक है, डिस्क्राइब द रोल प्लेड बाय द प्रॉफिट्स अंकल्स ड्यूरिंग द लाइफ टाइम ऑफ द होली प्रॉफिट पीस अपॉन हिम. तो आपको उनके अंकल्स के बारे में नाम और उनकी पर्टिकुलर डिस्क्रिप्शन और उनकी सर्विसेज पता होनी चाहिए. So Hamza was also the uncle of the Holy Prophet peace upon him and he was the son of Abdul Muttalib, known, ये तो बात पता ही है. He was also the foster brother of the Holy Prophet peace be upon him. Because ठीक है, foster brother because he has been suckled by Suwaiba. Suwaiba was the slave girl of Abu Lahab. ठीक है, अबू लहब की बांदी थी Suwaiba. So Suwaiba has suckled Holy Prophet peace upon him and also Hamza earlier. Because of this, they both are the foster brothers. दूध शरीक भाई थे. ठीक है, तो Hamza was 2 years elder to the Prophet peace be upon him, and initially he did not think about accepting Islam because he was very much busy in other activities in Makkah, like he was fond of hunting and he was a wrestler. So one day, the Holy Prophet peace upon him was at Safa hill. It happened that Abu Jahl came over here and he started abusing the Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him. Prophet peace upon him did not show any reaction, okay, on his abuse or such type of behavior. ठीक है, तो this further made him furious. ठीक है, उसकी वजह से उसको और गुस्सा आया कि prophet react क्यों नहीं कर रहे. So what he did, he hit the prophet peace upon him hard with a stone on his head, and his Prophet's head started bleeding. That all has been witnessed by a slave girl from Abdullah bin Judan. Abdullah bin Judan की एक slave girl थी, उसने ये सारा माजरा, ये सारा इवेंट देखा. ठीक है, तो it happened that Hamza रज़ी अल्लाह अन्हु was returning from hunting. तो the whole incident has been reported by the slave girl to Hamza. ठीक है, हमजा रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हु को गुस्सा आया एंड ही स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड वेंट टू अबू जहल एंड ही वाज सिटिंग एट द टाइम इन मस्जिद हराम अलोंग विद द अदर ट्राइबल चीफ्स. ठीक है, तो हमजा रज़ियल्लाहु अन्हु वहाँ पहुँचने के बाद ही हिट हार्ड Abu Jahl on his head with his bow, and he said, "Will you insult him if I am of his religion and say what he says? Hit me back if you can." So this shows his bravery and courage. ठीक है, will you insult him when I am of his religion? If I say what he says, ठीक है, so if you want to persecute him or if you want to beat him, then hit me back if you can. ठीक है, if you have courage. ठीक है, अगर कुछ कर सकते हो तो पहले मुझे करके दिखाओ. ठीक है, तो अदर ट्राइबल चीफ दे स्टूड टू बीट हिम. ठीक है, उनके खिलाफ एक्शन लेने के लिए बाकी चीफ्स खड़े हो गए, बट अबू जहल हेल्ड देम बैक, उनको रोक दिया. उसने कहा कि लीव हिम, लीव अबू अम्मारा. अबू अम्मारा इज द टाइटल ऑफ हमजा. ठीक है, लीव हिम, लीव अबू अम्मारा, फॉर बाय गॉड आई इंसल्टेड हिज नेफ्यू डीपली. ठीक है, he himself admitted that he insulted the Prophet peace upon him very deeply and that his anger is he is right to show his anger. Later on, he went to Dar Arqam where he announced his religion. And 3 days later, 3 दिन के बाद Hazrat Umar also accepted Islam and this gave Holy Prophet peace upon him and companions a great courage, a great change. And ठीक है, बहुत चेंज आ गया इसकी वजह से. Hamza migrated to Medina and later on he participated in the battles, particularly his major role in the Battle of Badr. Okay, Hamza was one of the three companions who came forward for one-on-one fighting against the three Quraysh, Utbah, Sheba, and Walid. Okay, and Utbah got killed by Hamza in the Battle of Badr. Utbah, the father of Hinda, and Hinda wanted to avenge the death of her father, and for this purpose she had hired a slave named Washi. Okay, Washi was a slave of Jubair bin Mut'im, and Hinda promised Washi that he will get freedom if he will kill Hamza, and he will load him with jewelry and with gold. ओके, तो इस तरीके से उसको प्रोमिस किए और उसको इतने ज़्यादा इनामात की लालच दी. तो हम हवाशी वॉज अ वेरी एक्सपर्ट इन जेवलिन थ्रो एंड तो इसकी वजह से हमजा गॉट किल्ड बाय द हैंड्स ऑफ वाशी इन द बैटल ऑफ ओहद. And later on, when Muslim they felt confusion in the battlefield, so at that time when they suffered heavy losses, so Muslim martyrs were mutilated. Okay, the dead body of Hamza was also mutilated by Hinda, and Hinda even tried to chew the liver, but she was unable. Okay, you can mention that Prophet peace upon him gave him the title Sayyid al-Shuhada, the chief of the martyrs. The chief of the martyrs is Hamza Rizalatul anhu. Hamza died in the Battle of Uhud in the month of Shawwal 3H. Shawwal 3H, because Battle of Uhud was fought in Shawwal 3H. He was buried at the foothills of the Mount Uhud. वहीं पे उनको दफन किया गया. सी अगेन, ठीक है, जो हम जो पर्सनैलिटीज देख रहे हैं दे आर द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट, इन्हीं को ऊपर आपने ज़्यादा फोकस करना है. राइट अबाउट द लाइव्स ऑफ द प्रॉफिट पीस अपॉन हिम अंकल. अंकल सब जैसे पूछे ना समटाइम्स, अच्छा डायरेक्टली पूछ सकते हैं. अच्छा, यहाँ पे जो क्वेश्चन था दैट वाज नॉट पर्टिकुलरली सेट प्रॉपर्ली बिकॉज अबू सुफियान वाज नॉट हिज अंकल. ठीक है, खैर उन्होंने बाद में इसको रेक्टिफाई कर दिया, लेकिन सीआई में सवाल इसी तरह आ गया था कि राइट अबाउट द लाइफ ऑफ द प्रॉफिट अंकल हमजा. तो ये यूं कह देते कि राइट अबाउट द लाइफ ऑफ द प्रॉफिट पीस अपॉन हिम अंकल हमजा एंड अबू सुफियान, नॉट अंकल्स, बिकॉज अबू सुफियान वाज नॉट हिज अंकल. ठीक है, तो हमजा एंड अबू सुफियान वी ऑलरेडी डिस्कस. ठीक है, मे दे में आस्क यू टू राइट अबाउट हम अबाउट द प्रॉफिट अंकल्स, टू अंकल्स और ठीक है थ्री अंकल्स के बारे में या किसी तरह इस तरह का सवाल पूछा जा सकता है. ठीक है, वी हैव वन मोर क्वेश्चन अबाउट द पर्सनैलिटी, लाइक राइट अबाउट द मेन पॉइंट्स इन लाइव्स ऑफ बिलाल एंड अबू सुफियान. We already talked about Abu Sufyan in detail. Okay, right now we have to write about Bilal. Bilal, one of the important personality, early convert, and we can say he was an Abyssinian slave. He was a slave of Umayyah bin Khalf. You must know the name of his master. His master was Umayyah bin Khalf. Okay, and who used to persecute when he accepted Islam. Bilal was, we can say, 10 years younger to the Prophet peace be upon him because he was born in 580. Okay, and he was son of Rabah. Okay, father Bilal bin Rabah, son of Rabah. Okay, so when Prophet peace upon him announced his prophethood, Bilal is also one of the early converts and started to practice Islam, and he faced persecution. Describe the persecution faced by him. Okay, his master tortured him to such an extent that he was thrown on the burning sand, and they would put a heavy rock on his chest so that he will not be able to move. Okay, on his chest. And Bilal was also dragged in the streets of Makkah, and they would tie a rope round his neck. Okay, and he was dragged in the streets of Makkah, and in that condition, he would say, Ahad, Ahad, that Allah is one. Allah is one. God is one. Finally, when these persecutions were unbearable for him, so he migrated to Abyssinia, and later on, he migrated to Medina. Okay, uh, he was Abu Bakr purchased him and set him free, and this is how he got free from the persecutions. When Prophet peace upon him went on Miraj, he heard the footsteps of Bilal up in the heavens. ठीक है, बिलाल रज़ी अल्लाह तआला के कदमों की आवाज़ ऊपर आसमानों तक सुनाई दी. Prophet peace upon him ने वापस आकर बिलाल से पूछा कि what special good deed that you performed that I heard your footsteps up in the heavens. ठीक है, for I heard your footsteps in front of me in the paradise. जन्नत में मुझे तुम्हारे कदमों की आवाज़ अपने से आगे सुनाई दी. तो बिलाल सेड आई डू नथिंग. ठीक है, तो उन्होंने कहा कि मैं कोई ख़ास नहीं करता वर्थ मैंशनिंग एक्सेप्ट जो ख़ास काम मैं ये करता हूँ वो ये है आई परफॉर्म एबोल्यूशन ड्यूरिंग डे और नाइट वैन एवर आई परफॉर्म एबोल्यूशन डे एंड नाइट आई प्रेड आफ्टर दैट एबोल्यूशन एज मच एज वॉज रिटन फॉर मी. जितनी नफिल जितनी मैं कुछ नमाज पढ़ सकता हूँ मैं पढ़ लेता हूँ नवाफिल. ठीक है, एंड बिकॉज ऑफ दैट मे बी ही हैज़ बीन गिवन दैट हाई रैंक इन द हेयर आफ्टर. ठीक है, that his footsteps were even heard up in the heavens, up in the paradise when Prophet peace upon him went on Miraj. Bilal killed his former master Umayyah bin Khalf in the battle of Badr. Okay, in the battle of Badr, Umayyah bin Khalf got killed by the hands of Bilal radiallahu ta'ala anhu. He participated in the battles. Okay, and later on, after the migration, when the system of Azan was introduced, Bilal was appointed as the first Muazzin of the Holy Prophet. That was his title. आपने इनका टाइटल मेंशन करना है कि बिलाल was the first Muazzin of the Holy Prophet peace upon him because of his loud and beautiful voice. You can mention that at the time of the conquest of Makkah, Bilal was asked to ascend on the roof of Kaaba, okay, and to deliver azan. Bilal was appointed by the Prophet to deliver azan. Fine. After the death of the Holy Prophet, peace upon him, he was that much grief stricken that he left Medina because he could not bear the absence of the Holy Prophet, peace upon him. We can mention that later on Umar's request, he delivered azan at another occasion, okay, during the caliphate of Hazrat Umar in Syria, okay, and it reminded the people the days and the time of the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. ठीक है, बिलाल रज़ियल्लाहु तआला अन्हु spent his rest of his life in Damascus and he where he died and he was buried. ठीक है, वहीं उनकी डेथ हुई, वहीं उनको दफन किया गया. एंड द नेक्स्ट वन वॉज अबू सुफियान एंड द सेम उनके बारे में वैसे ही आ जाएगा. ये जो भी पर्सनैलिटीज हमने पहले कर चुके हैं उनके बारे में लाइक दिस क्वेश्चन राइट अबाउट द लाइफ्स ऑफ द प्रॉफिट. दिस यू हैड ऑलरेडी डिस्कस्ड ओके अर्लियर. ठीक है, तो दिस क्वेश्चन हैज़ बीन रिपीटेड okay twice. There could be a question about the work that has been done by the scribes of the divine revelation. Okay, scribes of the divine revelation के बारे में दो तरह का सवाल आता है. Sometimes they ask you to write about the work that has been done by these people, and they may ask you to write about their lives. अगर लाइफ का सवाल आ जाएगा तो हमारे पास जो इम्पोर्टेंट जो है स्क्राइब्स हैं वो तीन हैं. जैद बिन साबित हैं, अब्दुल्ला बिन मसूद हैं और उबई बिन काब हैं. ठीक है, इनकी लाइफ हिस्ट्री में आपके साथ अलग से शेयर कर दूंगा. राइट नाउ वी हियर वी हैव टू डिस्कस दैट द ब्रीफली डिस्क्राइब द टास्क कैरिड आउट बाय द at the time of the holy prophet. So they are asking to write you their services during the prophet's life only. So we can start, and our answer we can say that we believe and we know that Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, was an ummi. Ummi means unlettered. Unlettered means the one who could not read or write. Okay, the Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, could neither read nor write. And a number of his companions are named as his scribes. Okay, they were his secretaries who, especially in the later year of his life in Medina, okay, they set down the judgments he gave. Okay, they wrote down the judgments he gave, and they wrote down the letters for him. Okay, they drew up the treaties between him and the tribal chiefs. Okay, and they looked after the administrative matters that arose from his leadership of a growing community. So this is how this was the role played by these scribes during the prophet lifetime. So they were his secretary. ठीक है, उनके हेल्पर थे, उनके सेक्रेटरी थे, उनके राइटर्स थे. Scribes were those, particularly those companions who were writing the Quranic verses for him, जिनको हम कहते हैं कातिबीन वही, the scribes of the divine revelation. अगर तो divine revelation की बात करें तो वो लोग writing the Quranic verses. But here, whenever we talk about scribes, we talk about them in general. The scribes of the Holy Prophet, because Prophet peace upon him was an ummi, he was an unlettered person. So among these scribes, okay, there was Hazrat Usman bin Affan, okay, the third caliph. Okay, there was Hazrat Ali, who was the fourth caliph, and there were other scribes also. Okay, there were so many other people who performed this task for the Holy Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, amongst the scribes were Muawiyah radiallahu anhu, and there was Ubay bin Ka'b, Abdullah bin Masud, and uh, Khalid bin Saeed. Okay, several people. At least there are about 40 companions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, who worked as his scribe. Okay, so we can mention that the revelation itself refer, okay, in there is a verse in the Holy Quran which says that it has been written, okay, that has been written by the hands of those who are honest and trustworthy. Honest and trustworthy, written by the hands of honest and trustworthy. Okay, so we know that since the time, since the very early time, Muslims they were writing the Quranic verses. Okay, they were writing the Quranic verses. Like event of the acceptance of Islam, it is an evidence for the Muslims. It is an evidence for all of us that they had the written verses. Umar at that time when they were reciting Quran, they had the written verses. Those were the verses of Surah Taha, from which they were reading. Okay, Umar took those pages, written material, and he recited those verses of Surah Taha. Okay, so among the scribes who remembered for their work of writing the Quran, okay, we can say that the earliest one was Abdullah bin Masud Razillah anhu. Okay, there was Abdullah bin Masud in Makkah, and he was the first converts at Makkah. And Abdullah bin Masud liked to remain close to the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Okay, he used to attend the Prophet, peace upon him's needs. ठीक है, आप वसल्लम की खिदमत में रहते हैं, उनकी तमाम ज़रूरियात को पूरा करते हैं. ठीक है, he was the first Muslim to recite Quran publicly at the Kaaba, and for which he was beaten by the Quraysh. ठीक है, and later on he was among those who fled to Abyssinia, and later on he migrated to Medina, and he took part in the Battle of Badr. And in the Battle of Badr, Abdullah bin Masud killed, okay, Abu Jahl, the great enemy. Abu Jahl, okay, he was killed in the Battle of Badr. In the Battle of Badr, Abu Jahl was killed. Although he was injured by the two young Ansari, yes, he recited Surah Rahman, okay, and he tried to copy the Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him. ठीक है, Prophet को बहुत ज़्यादा follow करते थे हर चीज़ के अंदर, in his appearance, in applying the fragrance, in dressing, in everything, in the manners, ठीक है, उठने बैठने में, हर चीज़ में. Okay, and he used to constantly attend the Prophet peace upon him's need, and he was frequently coming to the house of the Holy Prophet peace upon him. That many new people who visited Prophet peace upon him, they were confused and they started thinking that they considered him as one of the member of the Prophet peace upon him's family. Okay, so Abdullah bin Masud was very much regular in the Prophet peace upon him's presence. Okay, he knew about the Quran very well. So after the Prophet peace upon him's death, he was regarded as an expert on reciting and interpreting the revelations. Okay, so that was about Abdullah bin Masud, one of the early scribes. There is an event of his acceptance of Islam that he was grazing the goats and the sheep of the Makkans. Okay, it happened that Prophet and Abu Bakr was passed by him, and he asked for some milk. Abdullah bin Masud was very much honest. He refused to give them any milk because he said that since he is not the owner, उसने कहा कि मैं तो इन बकरियों का मालिक नहीं हूँ, मैं तो नहीं दे सकता. प्रॉफिट ने कहा कि अच्छा कोई ऐसी बकरी जो दूध नहीं देती, ठीक है, टू गिव हिम दैट गोड विच इज अनेबल टू गिव मिल्क। ठीक है, प्रॉफिट पीस अपॉन हिम ने अपने हाथ उस बकरी के ऊपर लगाया एंड स्टार्टेड गिविंग मिल्क। ही वाज वेरी मच इम्प्रेस्ड विद दिस मिरेकल दैट ही एक्सेप्टेड इस्लाम। ठीक है, उन्होंने सारी चीज़ें छोड़ दी, सारे काम छोड़ दिए, एंड ही वॉज कॉन्स्टेंट इन अटेंडिंग द प्रॉफिट पीस अपॉन हिम एंड ही वुड रिमेन इन हिज प्रेजेंस। ठीक है, हर वक्त प्रॉफिट के साथ साथ रहते। Another important companion in the scribe of divine revelation was Ubay bin Ka'b. He was from Medina. He was from Ansars. He was from Khazraj tribe. Okay, you must know that Zaid bin Sabit was also from Ansar and he was also from they were from Khazraj tribe. Okay, Khazraj tribe se the ye log. You can mention that he was also one of the best reciter of the Holy Quran. He memorized the revelations, okay, as the Prophet peace be upon him recited them, and he had his own collection of the Holy Quran. Okay, and he was also present in the last recitation of the Holy Quran. Okay, that was made by the Prophet Muhammad peace upon him before his death. The best known of the scribe who wrote down the revelations was Zaid bin Sabit. He was from Medina. Okay, and he became in third year of Hijrah. He became the Prophet's secretary. Okay, and he Prophet peace upon him corresponded with Jews through Zaid bin Sabit. Okay, he because he learned their language. He was the close companion of the Holy Prophet peace upon him, and you can further mention that Zaid was the Prophet peace upon him's neighbor, and whenever revelation came to the Prophet Muhammad peace upon him, he called Zaid bin Sabit and dictated the verses to him. Zaid himself has narrated his experience that whenever Prophet peace upon him received the revelation, then he used to recite it in front of his companions. Okay, he used to write. They used to write it on the shoulder blades of the camel, barks of the trees, sheets of leather, and parchment and the paper. Zaid अपना event खुद बता रहे हैं कि I used to write down the revelation since he was the prophet's neighbor. When the revelation came to him, he felt intense heat and drops of perspiration rose to roll down his body like pearls. And when this state was over, so Zed was called and he used to fetch a shoulder bone of camel or a piece of something else. He used to go on dictating and I used to write down. Zed अपने बारे में बता रहे हैं, I used to write down. When I finished writing, तो कहते हैं कि वो नोटिस करते कि the heavy weight, that his leg would break because of the weight. ठीक है, and he would not be able to walk anymore. So when I finished writing, Prophet peace upon him would say, read. Absalom कहते हैं कि पढ़ो, पढ़ के सुनाओ. And I would read it back. If there was an omission, if any change or error, he used to correct it and then let it be brought before the people. So Zaid was the Prophet's official scribe during his life in Medina. ठीक है, Prophet peace upon him also informed his companions about the place of the new revelation. So whenever these revelations, जब भी revelation आती, Prophet peace upon him would tell them where to place these verses. कहते थे कि write these verses in such and such surah where such and such verses occur. Okay. So Zaid bin Sabit was also present in the last recitation of the Holy Quran also. Okay, and he reviewed the whole Quran twice with Jibril al-Islam and Zaid was present. At the time of the Prophet peace upon his death, this Quran was there in the memory of many of his companions. After the death of the Holy Prophet peace upon him, you can write about the role played by Zaid bin Sabit, but आपने question को देखना है. ठीक है, if the question is about during the Prophet's lifetime, so you will not write about the role played by these scribes after the death of the Holy Prophet. आप बस ये कह सकते हैं कि वट एवर कलेक्शंस दैट दे हैड प्रिपेयर्ड लेटर ऑन दे वर यूज्ड, ठीक है, बाय द पीपल लेटर ऑन ड्यूरिंग द टाइम ऑफ द राइटिंग एडिट कैलिप्स टू मेक द ऑफिशियल कॉपी ऑफ द होली कुरान. These compilers and these people and these collections, it helped them to make the official copy later on. ठीक है, there were official scribes and there were other scribes also. So some of the companions they were writing for their personal use. ठीक है, वो अपने लिए लिखते थे. ठीक है, वो they मतलब they were writing for their own use. And one of them was Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As. Okay, Abdullah bin Amr bin al-As was also one of the famous companion of the Holy Prophet who has taken the permission from the Holy Prophet peace upon him to write these verses. Prophet peace upon him has given permission to him because उन्होंने क्या कहा था प्रॉफिट से ही sought special permission asking, क्या पूछा, may I write everything I hear from the states of contentment and anger. खुशी में और गुस्से में, हंसी मजाक में और गुस्से में, हर जो बात आप कहते हैं क्या मैं वो लिख सकता हूँ, क्या मैं लिख लूँ? प्रॉफिट बी अपॉन हिम गेव रिप्लाई इन पॉजिटिव, इन अफर्मेटिव, सेइंग यस फॉर आई स्पीक नथिंग बट ट्रुथ। ठीक है, ट्रुथ, दैट ही सेड दैट नथिंग कम्स फ्रॉम दिस एंड ही पॉइंटेड टू हिज माउथ बट ट्रुथ। ठीक है, तो ये बात आप बता सकते हैं। तो देयर वर पीपल हु वर राइटिंग फॉर देयर पर्सनल यूज, फॉर देयर later on with these verses were used. Achha, there was Ubay bin Ka'b. Ubay bin Ka'b was officially appointed for writing letters, okay, for instructions to the governors. तो ये सारी बातें इसमें आ जाएंगी. Ali was also the prophet's scribe. He wrote the terms of the Treaty of Hudaybiyah. So these are the role, active role that they played during the lifetime of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. So that was about the services rendered by these scribes during the lifetime of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. So scribes, they played a very important role जो आपको अपने आंसर के अंदर डिस्क्राइब करना है. अगर आ गया कि जैद की कंट्रीब्यूशन को डिस्क्राइब करें, ठीक है, फॉर वट एवर द कंट्रीब्यूशन हैज मेड बाय हिम जैद बिन साबित, तो यू हैव टू राइट अबाउट जैद बिन साबित इन डिटेल. हमने यहाँ पे पिछले क्वेश्चन के अंदर भी डिटेल में देखा कि हमने देखा कि जैद एक्सेप्टेड इस्लाम एंड जैद वाज वेरी यंग एंड दैट इज व्हाई ही वाज नॉट अलाउड टू पार्टिसिपेट इन बदर इन द फर्स्ट टू बैटल्स बिकॉज ऑफ हिज यंग एज, and he was not allowed to take part in the Battle of Badr. Okay, he learned reading and writing from the captives of Badr and turned to be an important scribe of the divine revelation. Okay, Prophet often dictated the Quranic revelations, और वो ऊपर उनका जो experience है वो हम यहाँ पे properly describe कर सकते हैं. He learned the Jewish language, the Syrian language also on the Prophet's command. कहीं कहीं पे आता है कि विद इन 18 days, in a very short span of time, बहुत ही कम टाइम के अंदर उन्होंने उनकी लैंग्वेज के ऊपर कम्प्लीटली मास्टर कर लिया. ही वॉज वेरी मच फ्लुएंट. ठीक है, एंड ही वॉज द प्रॉफिट्स इंटरप्रेटर. ठीक है, उनकी तरफ से बातचीत करते हैं. He took part in all other battles, including the Battle of Yamama. Zaid bin Sabit was also present. There were several other people who had learned Quran by heart. ठीक है, they were the best reciters. ठीक है, one of them was Salim also. Salim also participated in the Battle of Yamama, and many Huffaz died in the battle, in this battle, and which made Hazrat Umar radhiyallahu anhu very much worried. During the caliphate of Hazrat Umar, he was made judge of Medina. हमने इनका वाक्य भी पढ़ा था कि Umar himself appeared before the court, before him in the in Medina, ठीक है, to defend himself. ठीक है, on a case जो उनके ऊपर land dispute का एक case था जिसके ऊपर he appeared before the court of Zaid bin Sabit. So Zaid bin Sabit played a very important role during caliphate of Abu Bakr in the compilation of Quran. जो उन्होंने तरीकाकार जो method apply किया to compile the Quran into Quranic verses, उसको आप describe करेंगे कि Zaid himself was Hafiz, but he verified these verses from his own memory. He also verified these verses from the memory of the other companions, and he also checked it from the written volumes of. ठीक है, the pieces were collected and people were asked to bring two witness over it. ठीक है, to, so as an evidence that this has been written under the supervision of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Not only just written in the Prophet's supervision, but also has been read out before him for any errors to be checked. आपने देखा कि इस तरह का सवाल भी पेपर में आता है, द रोल प्लेड बाय मुहाजिरीन एंड अंसार. ठीक है, मुहाजिरीन एंड अंसार का टॉपिक हमने शुरू में भी वहाँ कवर किया लाइफ ऑफ द होली प्रॉफिट में, ब्रदरहुड दैट हैज़ बीन क्रिएटेड. बट दिस इज ऑल्सो द पार्ट ऑफ द फर्स्ट इस्लामिक कम्युनिटी दैट मुहाजिरीन एंड अंसार. तो वी ऑलरेडी हैव सीन the how the community of the converts was gradually built up in Makkah, and despite the difficulties and the persecutions of the Quraysh, Muslims, they made their community, and later on the instructions of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, they left their homes, okay, and they took shelter in Medina. So Quran refers to the heroism of these muhajirin, okay, those who perform hijrah migration. So Quran says that never will I suffer to be lost the work of any of you. ठीक है, मैं इनमें से जिन्होंने भी एफर्ट की मैं उनमें से किसी के भी मेहनत को ज़ाया नहीं करूँगा, whether male or female. You are members of one another. Those who left their homes and they were driven out from them and they suffered harm. Okay, they suffered exile in my cause and fought and they were slain. Okay, so Allah has promised high reward for such people. These are the verses of Surah Al Imran. Okay, that Allah promised that they will be given such a great reward in the hereafter. Okay, like so those who migrated and they were drawn out from their homes, suffered harm in my cause, such people have been promised with high rewards. Surah number 3, verse number 195. Okay, in the same way, they have also been praised in other places that they have the highest ranks, okay, in the sight of Allah Almighty, and they are brothers to one another. These Muhajirin and Ansar की अल्लाह ताला ने इनकी तारीफ की है, इनको प्रेज किया. ठीक है, आप यू मस्ट नो हु वर मुहाजिरीन एंड इन व्हाट डिफिकल्टी दे वर. ठीक है, तो पीपल ऑफ मक्का कंटिन्यू टू लीव देयर होम्स एंड फॉलो द फर्स्ट माइग्रेशन, first immigrants to Medina for many years. Okay, until Muslims finally entered Makkah and declared Islam as its faith. Okay, till the conquest of Makkah, Muslims continued to come, and Ansars, they continued to welcome them. So Ansars, they were the people of Yasrib. They assisted the Muslim migrants. Okay, they were help. They are known as helpers. They are known as Ansars. They invited the Prophet Muhammad, peace upon him, and his followers to their town. Okay, they accepted Islam at the time when Prophet was in Makkah, and they made the pledges with him in at Aqaba. And they not only accepted Islam, but they also had invited the Holy Prophet, peace upon him, and they had promised that they will support and protect Muslims and the Holy Prophet, peace upon him, with their wealth and with their lives. Okay, they promised to help him in every difficulty. So men from Yathrib, they started accepting Islam from 620, and in 622, Prophet peace upon him migrated. So they made pledges in 621, 12 people, and a second pledge in which there were 75 people, including two women. Okay, so these people, they welcomed the Muslims to their city. Okay, and they participated along with the Muslims. Okay, they took part in the Battle of Badr, and number of Ansars who fight, okay, and support the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. Before the start of the Battle of Badr, Prophet peace upon him uh, took their counsel, okay, their opinion. Muhajirin, they first showed their willingness. Prophet peace upon him wanted to know from Ansar. So Ansar, they also open-heartedly supported Prophet peace be upon him. उन्होंने कहा कि हम पीछे नहीं हटेंगे. If the Prophet will say to jump in a river or in a sea, okay, we will not stay behind. We will go along with the Holy Prophet Muhammad peace be upon him without thinking about our family and our lives. So if even if we see the Battle of Badr, there were 14 Muslims who achieved martyrdom in the Battle of Badr, out of which 8 were Ansars and 6 were Muhajirin. So Ansars, they contributed more. In the Battle of Uhud, many Ansars, they sacrificed their life. 60 to 65 martyrs were from Ansars in the Battle of Uhud. Okay, so they sacrificed their lives. Okay, उन्होंने कुर्बानियाँ दी हैं. So, in order to unite the Muslims of Makkah and Medina, Holy Prophet, peace upon him, instituted a pact of brotherhood between them. Okay, so he paired each of Muhajirin with Ansars. ठीक है, Muhajirin और Ansar को आपस में उनको pair किया. Fine. So you can give some of these examples, this arrangement. So for this purpose, he gathered all of them in the house of Anas bin Malik, and altogether there were 90 people, and he paired them. ठीक है, आपस में उन दोनों को एक साथ कर दिया. ठीक है, give some examples like Abdurrahman bin Auf was made brother of Saad bin Rabi. Okay, and they shared their belongings. Okay, they divided their things, belongings into two parts. Saad bin Rabi took Abdurrahman bin Auf to his house. Okay, he divided his house, his belongings into two parts. Even he offered one of his wife to Abdurrahman bin Auf, to which Abdurrahman refused, saying that may Allah bless you in your family and in your property. Guide me the way to the market. Okay, may Allah bless you in your family and in your property. Guide me the way to the market. And he started his own business. That was a business of dairy products. Okay, and SARS, they helped. They were ready for every type of support. They were even ready to give them ownership. Okay, जिन्होंने सिर्फ डिवाइड ही नहीं किया, even they were ready to give Muhajirin the ownership of these areas. Prophet peace upon him did not allow them. ठीक है, उन्होंने कहा कि Muhajirin will work on their farms, and ठीक है, this is how they can make their earning. बट देर वॉज अ डिफरेंस. ठीक है, दोनों के मिजाज में, दोनों के इसमें थोड़ा सा डिफरेंस था ना. ठीक है, मुहाजरीन देवर मोस्टली ट्रेडर्स, वाइल अंसार देवर मोस्टली फार्मर्स. ठीक है, देवर हैविंग ऑर्चर्ड्स, लैंड. ठीक है, इसमें वो खजूरों के बागात वगैरह थे. So there was a difference in their nature. So, and Muhajirin, when they settled in Medina, they started their business. Like Abu Bakr, he started his business. Usman, Abdurrahman bin Auf, and most of them they started their business and very soon they became very much rich. ठीक है, and they contributed generously for the cause of Islam. ठीक है, ये सारी बातें आएंगी. आपने ये बताया ना कि this brotherhood was very much beneficial for both of them. Muhajirin, they got support. Like what type of support? Financial support. ठीक है, they received a financial support from their Ansari brothers. While Ansars, they received spiritual support, religious support, because Muhajirin had accepted Islam earlier, and by virtue of that, they can get time and they can learn Islam from their immigrant brother. So, हमने देखा कि इनके बारे में अल्लाह ताला ने इनको प्रॉमिस किया, इनके इनसे रिलेटेड जो भी हाई रैंक्स अल्लाह ताला ने मेंशन किए, या वट एवर प्रॉफिट पीस अपॉन हिम सेड दैट प्रॉफिट पीस अपॉन हिम प्रेफर्ड टू स्टे विद अंसार्स आफ्टर द बैटल ऑफ हुनैन. Prophet peace upon him said that if all people go on one path and Ansars on the other, I would go along with Ansar. ठीक है, this shows the preference of Ansar. ठीक है, and Prophet peace upon him decided to stay with Ansars and he died amongst Ansar and he was buried among Ansar. So this shows their high rank. So they were very hospitable. The Prophet peace upon him said, if I was given an option, I had preferred to be the part of Ansar. मतलब मैं चाहता कि मैं अंसार ही में से होता, फिर मैं मक्का में से नहीं होता. Some famous Ansars were Zaid bin Sabit, Abu Ayyub Ansari, the Prophet's host, Saad bin Muaz, the one who decided the fate of Banu Qurayza. They played very important role in the life of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him. ठीक है, ये सारे मेन वो हैं, ठीक है, कंट्रीब्यूट जिन्होंने किया इस्लाम के लिए. So we have a detailed topic about the life of the grandsons of the Holy Prophet, peace be upon him, and his daughters. Okay, but we will not be able to finish it in this short time. So we will have a separate class for the Prophet peace upon him's daughters and the Prophet peace upon him's grandsons. Okay, तो फिर इसके बाद हम उसके जो टॉपिक थोड़े बहुत रह जाएंगे उसको हम अगली क्लास में डिस्कस कर लेंगे. बट टिल हेयर वी विल फिनिश अवर क्लास विद दिस टॉपिक. ठीक है, आई विल रिकमेंड यू पीपल कि जितनी हमने पर्सनैलिटीज़ डिस्कस की उनको आप सही से प्रिपेयर करें. ठीक है, जब ये प्रिपेयर हो जाएं तो फिर आप उससे मिलती जुलती और कुछ पर्सनैलिटीज़, जैसे 10 बेस्ट में हमने 4 को देखा, आप तलहा ज़ुबैर साद बिन नबी वक़ास अबू उबैदा बिन जर्राह की भी कुछ पॉइंट्स उसके बाद प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं. देन वी डिस्कस इंपॉर्टेंट वाइफ्स ऑफ द होली प्रॉफिट, फर्स्ट 5 और 7. ठीक है, उन 5 to 7 को करने के बाद फिर आप यू कैन ऐड अदर वाइफ्स. ठीक है, उनको प्रिपेयर कर सकते हैं. ठीक है, वी हैव, ठीक है, वन मोर क्लास टुमारो इंशाल्लाह. ठीक है, उसको हम करेंगे इंशाल्लाह इवनिंग में तकरीबन 5:30 पे. सो वी विल फिनिश दीज पर्सनैलिटीज़ ऑल्सो, रिमेनिंग पर्सनैलिटीज़, एंड विद दिस हमारी रिवीजन कंप्लीट हो जाएगी. ठीक है, आप आज का दिन और कल का दिन इस्लामियात के लिए रिजर्व कर दें, सो दैट यू विल हैव रेस्ट ऑफ द डेज, मतलब आगे सैटरडे संडे मंडे आप हिस्ट्री जोग्राफी को फुल फ्लैज फोकस कर सकें. ठीक है, this is how you can plan, you know better how you have to prepare yourself. Okay, any questions? किसी का कोई सवाल है, कोई बात बताइए. Okay, take care. Allah Hafiz.